3 errors in that game, but a different story last night. The defense was there. The home runs were there as Chris Taylor and Yasiel Puig went back-to-back. And the bullpen was there. Only 4 innings from Brock Stewart, but the pen contributes 5. And the Dodgers come away with a 5-3 win to even this series up at a game apiece. Joe Davis or Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. They gathered that momentum to finish the road trip. They've won 5 of 6 now. Getting things going at home, trying to win a series against the Rockies.
Winning is the most important thing, but winning at home does sure feel good. They were outstanding last year at home, and when you look at these wins, it's one department picking up the other. You got to have 2 of the 3. Between the offense, the bullpen, and the starter, 2 or 3 can win it, and that's what they've been doing.
Mentioned the starter. Tonight his name is Kenta Maeda, and his last time out in Miami last week was his best one this year.
He has been fantastic. You know, that outing there responded to 3 difficult outings prior to that. Kenta is a great adjuster, but in the last outing, it was the fastball slider combination that was outstanding, commanding the outside part of the plate to righties and then dotting that slider after that pitch. But you can't forget about the curveball and the changeup. He's got those also.
Let's go down to the field now with Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks very much. There has been a roster move earlier today for the Dodgers. They have optioned JT Chagua back to Oklahoma City. Dave Roberts saying it has nothing to do with usage or fatigue. They want him to go down there to clean some stuff up, particularly the fastball command and the effectiveness of the slider, the corresponding move. They have brought up right-hander Edward Paredes to be able to, left-hander Edward Paredes to be able to complement Scott Alexander in the bullpen with Kenta Maeda on the hill and the lefties on the Rockies bench, guys.
All right, Alana, guess who else is with us tonight? Nomar's in the house, going to put the spotlight on Max Muncy. Dodgers and Rockies, first pitch coming up.
first base for the Dodgers today. The reason why we're focusing on Max Muncy, wow, what has he done lately for the Dodgers? Well, only for his last 12 games. He's had 10 starts. He's only been leading the team in average on base percentage, slugging percentage, and RBIs in that span with 10 RBIs and hitting 3 over 3. And that includes actually an 0 for 4 week yesterday. That just tells you how hot he's been swinging the bat.
And there again tonight, starting at first. Cody Bellinger getting the night off for Dave Roberts with a tough left-hander on the mound, and Kyle Freeland. Take a look at the Rockies lineup tonight, brought to you by Blue Shield of California. Charlie Blackmon, the reigning batting champion, to lead it off. Then David Dahl. Nolan Arenado hits third and plays third. Parra has been their best hitter as of late. Trevor Story bats fifth and starts at short. Ian Desmond at first, having homered last night. Chris Ionetta's in there because he's homered twice against Maeda. And Daniel Castro rounds it out. How about the outing for Maeda in Miami last week? 8 shutout innings, and he gave up just 2 hits.
He was responding to 3 tough outings against San Diego, Cincinnati, San Francisco, but Miami he dealt, and it was a combination of 2 pitches. Mainly the fastball away to either side was right there at the knees, and then off of that, the slider. You know what? That combination lasted about 2 or 3 innings, but when he got to the second and third time around the order, that's when he started to mix in the curveball, the changeup, a little bit, just a dash of cutter. But he was outstanding with the fastball and slider.
Just a pinch. Just
a pinch. A good recipe.
He said he had made some minor adjustments in his between start and bullpen. Thought that he'd been rushing through his delivery some, and so made it a focus to kind of slow it down. And having heard that after, you think back to how he looked, and yeah, that makes sense. He did look like he was a little bit slower through his windup.
It's that balance between aggressiveness that doesn't get into your timing. And Kenta, when the bullpen days happened for him last year, and he realized that he could go that hard and go deep into a game, you can't let that creep into your timing as a pitcher. So be aggressive, but have good rhythm.
The Diamondbacks have already lost again today. They got beat 9-2 by Milwaukee. So the Rockies' lead has grown to a full game at 26-23. The Dodgers have won 5 of 6 after that 6-game losing streak. Good seats to watch Kenta Maeda. Off we go with ball 1 on Blackmon. As part of this Rockies lineup, they rank 23rd in the majors, scoring 4 runs per game. Offense has been hugely disappointing so far. Blackmon hits a high fly ball to center field that sends Hernandez back to the warning track. No big deal. 1 out. Whew.
No big deal for us, but I know Kenta Maeda on the mound, his heart stopped a little bit. And as a pitcher, you're watching the outfield track the ball. The ball doesn't give you anything there when it's straight over your head. You've got to watch your outfielder. And when he slowed down a little bit, he started to feel better.
1 gone, and here's David Dahl. Broke onto the scene with a huge rookie season, really a half rookie season in 2016, but he opened his career with a major league record tying 17-game hitting streak. He takes a strike. So they had huge hopes for him going into last season, which was going to be his first full season in the majors, but missed the whole year. Multiple upper body injuries. First it was a stress fracture in his rib during spring training, and then while he was trying to come back from that, back spasms, and they eventually just shut him down, and it became a lost year. Maeda to Dahl with a 1-1. Got it by him, 1-2.
Doesn't it feel odd that we're playing the first place Rockies? Just the context has been so chasing Arizona, you know, trying to get yourself together as a team, not worrying about what's going on in the National League West, but let's just focus on ourselves. Getting Turner back, when we're going to get Kershaw back. How's Ryu doing? Rich Hill goes down. But now we're playing the Rockies, and first place is within sight.
A win tonight would bring them to within 3.5 games of the top of the division. That bottom falls out. 2 gone.
It's the changeup, and Kenta's already gone away from his pattern from his last game against Miami. A veteran club like Colorado will study that game and think about, oh, he's going to go with that, but they're going a little different already.
Here's Arenado. Out of the 44 games he's played in this year, only 3 of them has he failed to reach base. Fastball a little bit up, ball 1. Dodgers have done a good job on Arenado in this series. He's 1 for 7. There are only 2 Rockies that have multiple hits in this series. And they are kind of unlikely guys, Gerardo Parra and Ian Desmond. Two-0. Swing and a miss on a nice slider. 2-1. Ball 3. The first few innings when Maeda has struggled, that's been where the damage has come. 16 of the 19 he's allowed this year have come in the first 3. Goes back to that slider to make it 3-2. And he saw him when he got through those first few innings in Miami, having given up just 2 hits, completely shut it down from there. In fact, Kenta retired the final 17 that he faced. Throws the slider this time. Arenado not fooled. He's got a 2-out walk.
Left fielder number 8, Gerardo Parra.
Here's Parra.
Parra, the only Rocky with multiple hits in this series. Everybody else just single hits.
One of those hits, a home run against Walker Buehler the other night. I say that he's an unlikely candidate to have multiple hits, but becoming more and more likely. 373 in the month of May. One ball, no strikes. There's a curve, strike 1.
Or hit a high fastball for his home run off of Walker Buehler. Kenta, of course, when you're the 3rd starter in a series, you get to watch the opposing lineup. It is a great scouting report. It's a great seat for a couple of games to watch the Rockies and get ready for them.
Normally, when everybody's healthy, he's the only right-handed starter, so it's not as good for him, right? But he got to follow 2 right-handed starters, and Buehler and Stewart. A 1-1 pitch. Parra yanks one to first. Muncy's got it. He'll step on the bag and finish a scoreless first for Kenta Maeda. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your SoCal Land Rover retailers. Back at Dodgers Stadium, where the Dodgers try to take this series from the Rockies, and here's the lineup that'll try and get it done. Brought to you by Blue Shield of California. The left-hander on the mound, Chris Taylor's at the top of it. Austin Barnes getting an opportunity to hit second. Justin Turner, the three-hitter, at third base. Kemp, Hernandez, and Forsythe in the middle. Then Puig, then Muncy, who will be spotlighted tonight by Nomar. Well, Kyle Freeland got off to a really rocky start, but he started throwing the four-seam more, the sinker less, and look at the results his last 5.
He's been very, very good. It's been more hard stuff. The Dodgers usually see a lot of spin, a lot of change-ups, but they're going to see a lot of fastballs and cutters from Freeland.
First pitch of the night is a strike on Taylor, who homered last night and has homered against Freeland before. It's 1-1. Dodgers saw Freeland 4 times last year in his rookie year, and that included his major league debut. Ground ball to short. Trevor Story. He's a Denver kid, Kyle Freeland is. Grew up going to games at Coors Field and then got to take the ball in the home opener. What a moment for a kid who was just 24 years old at that point. And pitched well. Just 1 run over 6 innings. Shut the Dodgers down in that game. Wasn't as good against him his next few times, though. Here's Barnes. One and 0. Austin hitting second for the 3rd time this season. And ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes.
See that little pause in Freeland's delivery when we saw him earlier in his career. Used to be at the bottom of the leg kick. Now it's at the top of the leg kick where he kind of recoils there and then again. Clayton Kershaw does it at the bottom when he has the kind of little secondary positioning of his body and his kick. Freeland used to do it Clayton's way, and now instead of doing it at the bottom, he's doing it at the top as he starts that little bit of momentum towards the hitter and home plate.
What's the reason for it?
I think when they first get up to the top, they're trying to almost find a balance point, but it's a stagnant balance point, and that little extra kick gives them the momentum they need to get the linear motion, the forward motion going to the hitter. A lot of guys with bad mechanics will try and get that motion after a balance point, which I don't like the term, but it's a dynamic balance, and that's what they get on the second one. It's a dynamic balance where they're balanced, but they have some motion to them. Kind of like a waggle in golf. You know, you get up there, and if you're going to take your swing right from, okay, you're stagnant over the ball, you just like really stiff and you don't have any rhythm. That little extra bit right there is their little waggle right before they go.
Here he comes with a payoff to Barnes. And a bouncer back to him. Very good athlete, Kyle Freeland. Easy play, 2 out. We mentioned things didn't go as well after his major league debut against the Dodgers, and Justin Turner had a big hand in that. 6 for 11 with 3 doubles in his time against Freeland.
Well, you can hesitate at the bottom, you can hesitate at the top, you can quick pitch Justin Turner, but it doesn't matter. Even though he has what looks like a lot of movement in the batter's box, he has tremendous timing, gets his foot down, and so it's really more about Justin, and it's not about Kyle Freeland.
Well, the base is empty, 2 out in the 1st inning. Turner takes a strike. The double in the 1st inning last night came in to score. And a 5-3 Dodger win. It's another win for the Dodgers against a pitcher who's in the top 50 in baseball in ERA. And it continues a trend of really backward stat where they've been very good against the best pitchers. They've been miserable against the worst pitchers. 1-2.
Yeah, it really is. It almost is like so confident coming in against the guys with ERAs above 5, and then maybe trying to do too much, expecting it to really just kind of explode, and really grinding it out against the top pitchers.
And by that criteria, they're facing another one of the top guys tonight. You saw in yellow, Freeland 26th in the majors in ERA. They beat Chad Bettis last night. On a 2-2. Turner bloops it down the line and into the seats. Here's another 2-2. Full count. The hitting machine, Matt Kemp on deck. On a 3-2, Justin Turner fouls it back.
Justin hitting .400 off of lefties this year, and a little short sample, but the guy on deck hitting .362 against lefties.
Got him with a back foot slider, and that's that for the Dodgers in the first. Off and rolling in Dodger Stadium. She's having a fun night.
Go Dodgers! Go Dodgers!
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Cricket, something to smile about. Speaking of. No question who she's here to see. So we go to the second in a scoreless game. Kenta Maeda back to work. Trevor Story swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Trevor Story hitting .240 with 10 home runs. Hitless in this series thus far. Now the Rockies over the last 2 weeks are 5-8, but have climbed into first place by themselves. It's a little bit inside. It's 1-1.
The whole National League West has captured a lot of ground and passed. The Rockies have. The Arizona Diamondbacks with their free fall.
Gets a curve in there for a strike. Yeah, the Rockies are in first place, but they have the 9th best record in the National League. Digs out a breaking pitch into left field for Matt Kemp, who's got it for the first out of the second.
Very rarely in baseball are you more games below 500 than out of first place. Dodgers are 6 games below 500 and only 4.5 out of first, and they're playing the team that's in first place. They can get to 3.5 with a W here and win the series. It's happening in the American League Central, that combo, and here in the National League West.
Yeah, the American League Central right now, its combined winning percentage would be the worst in the divisional era. Started in 1969. And Desmond fouls off the first one from Maeda, strike one. Got the Indians in first place there, sitting at 23-23. Twins are 2 games below 500, but just a game out of first place. A little bit outside, 1-1. Slider sharp, 1-2.
Kenta Maeda's masterful outing against Miami included 6 3-up, 3-down innings. Didn't walk a batter. Only gave up 2 hits. Left the game up 7-0, and Kenley Jansen needed some work, so he polished him off in the 9th. Kenta could have easily thrown his first complete game shutout. He'd get Kenley to work and just cut Kent off at 96 pitches.
And that gem of a start for Maeda started this run where they've won 5 of 6. And pitching has been the key throughout that stretch. 12 runs allowed total in those 6 games.
One night it's a starter doing really well. One game in Washington it was the whole bullpen doing well.
On 2-2, Desmond. It's a soft bouncing ball left side. Justin Turner, the guy that grounds into more outs than any man in baseball, grounds into one there, 2 away. Here are those numbers for the Dodgers over the last 6 games, which followed a 6-game losing streak. You mentioned this Saturday in D.C. where the bullpen went the entire game. That right now feels like the most important day of the year.
Well, sweeping Washington in their home park and losing Rich Hill after 2 pitches to the blister, yeah. It could have been a catastrophe.
Arenado takes a strike. Not the most important game, although it may be, but the most important day, and that they swept the doubleheader that day. And you were facing Max Scherzer in that game. 0-2. Time will tell. Right now it's hard to argue for another one. On the corner with a slider. He makes quick work of Arenado, who has been a menace to him previously.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on May 30th when the Dodgers host the Phillies at 7:10 and take home a Chris Taylor bobblehead celebrating his NLCS Co-MVP award, courtesy of Pirelli. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Saw somebody on Twitter that said they should have had bobble hands, so it's barrels are overrated. There's Matt Kemp to start this second. Too late, you think, to make a change on the 40,000 bobbleheads? Have the hands bobble?
Probably a little too late.
Yeah, I think so too. 1 ball and no strikes on Kemp. The hottest Dodger, 7 for his last 12. Fouls that one off his foot. Fouled one off his knee last night.
I think he's balanced out now. It was his back knee last night. I think this is his front foot. Sure is.
And knowing Matt, he's walking back there grimacing, saying, "I'm too old for this." Diggs back in. Kyle Freeland comes home. Kemp yanks one down the line, foul.
You foul one off your foot like that and you're at home. Somebody in the family goes and gets you an ice bag out of the freezer made. You get your foot up elevated on the couch and you watch a game. Here in the big leagues, get back in the box.
Freeland gets him with that cutter. 1 out.
Center fielder, number 14, Kike Hernandez.
It brings up Kike Hernandez. It's a guy who they've been able to count on in previous years against left-handed pitching, but as you mentioned during the pregame show, he's one of the guys that has struggled against lefties this year.
Chris Taylor has struggled against left-handers. Kike has. Yasiel Puig is the same, but it's still struggling. Last year in the 180 area, and now this year only 194. So production out of those 3 guys would really lengthen the lineup against left-handed starters.
Other than 2. Kemp explaining to the training staff how great that feels. Here's an 0-2. Hernandez turns on it, sends a high fly ball to left field. Parra drifting back, shy of the warning track. 2 out.
Just under that one.
Second base.
Freeland got enough height up in the top part of the strike zone to make him get under it. But that was a really pretty swing. Just above, about a button above his belt.
Kike was using an axe handled bat there as Logan Forsythe comes up. Kike typically hates axe handled bats, and the feel on those. It's a ground ball to short. To tell you about this as we go to the 3rd. Stick around. We'll tell you about Kike and the bats that he chooses.
The Dodgers grounds crew driven by the helpful SoCal.
one of them there. You can see how it's just different right on the knob. Kike Hernandez does not like using axe-handled bats. In fact, he was using them during batting practice today because he doesn't like them. He's trying to make himself uncomfortable during BPs, so when he goes into the game, it feels extra comfy, extra slow. But apparently he liked it so much today, he decided to use it in a game.
Huh? Yeah, it's for some guys it's a great feel. It gives them ability to kind of stay on the ball, keep their hands inside, and then release. But for other guys, it doesn't feel good at all. But I like the fact if you're struggling a little bit, change it up. See if it feels good, or maybe it feels so bad that when you go back to your other style, that one starts to feel comfortable again.
Daniel Castro leading off this third against Maeda, ball on a strike, and he's done many of those drills, Kike Hernandez has, or those exercises of making himself uncomfortable during BP and in the cage. It's a philosophy that he learned from Joey Votto. It's down and away, and it's 2-1. Sunday, before he hit that home run in Washington against Steven Strasburg, that morning was really struggling, really not feeling good. Went in the cage with Turner Ward, and he said Turner was having him do stuff that he had never done in the cage before. He was having him set the bat down in front of his feet, and as Turner was flipping him the pitch, quickly reach down, pick the bat up, swing. Just completely uncomfortable, trying to switch the sides of the brain that he was using. And so when he actually got into the game, he felt much more calm and comfy. It's ground ball by third, 2-2.
Believe it or not, I would actually get on a mound and underneath the stadium, not out in public, out there in the bullpen, and actually try and pitch left-handed when I was really in a slump. But not a lot of pitches, just like 10. You know, just something like you said, you're just trying to break that code of this is what I'm trying to get, something's out of sync. So how do I break the code completely to get back to it and go, hey, right-handed throwing is a lot easier.
One base runner for the Rockies against Maeda. There's a walk for Arenado in the first. Maeda with a pair of strikeouts. The 8-hitter Daniel Castro making him work starting the third. This will be his 7th pitch. Fouls it again.
That's that fastball low and away that Kenta had so precisely executed against Miami. This game he's doing really well so far, locked in, but using a little different pitch mix against Colorado. A few more change ups, a few more steal a strike with the slow curveball. Not quite so reliant on that fastball away and slider.
Went back there with the slider, the same combination that you're talking about him being so effective with against Miami. The slider came out of the start as the story, but the slider was so good because that fastball you're talking about was so good.
A lot of times when an off-speed pitch is effective, it's built from the foundation of the fastball accuracy. You think about Clayton Kershaw with the fastball into righties, but then that builds the effectiveness of his put-away slider or curveball.
Going to that same spot with the slider, and it's hooked down the line. Next pitch will be the 10th to Castro.
I think one of the largest examples of that is what we saw last year with Rich Hill with his 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball away to righties, and then the breaking ball coming out of that. That fastball nobody could hit, but he could put it right there, and it was almost a reverse foundation with Rich, where the curveball was the foundation and the fastball was the put away pitch.
Finally, it gets him to put it in play. Softly to second, Logan Forsythe. It's significant for the Rockies in that it took 10 pitches to do it. And the next one Maeda throws to be his 40th of the night.
Pitcher number 21, Kyle Freeland.
Before Kyle Freeland was a pitching prospect, he was a pretty big time outfield prospect coming out of high school in Denver. Wasn't until he pitched in the Cape Cod League between seasons at University of Evansville that he became a big time pitching prospect. But as a high school senior, In 19 games, he hit .631 with 6 homers. Ball and a strike. Cody Bellinger day off from the field, but baseball education continues.
What's great about that conversation, I'm sure they are talking baseball. It's one thing to experience something on the field. It's another thing to step back and have somebody really organize your priority list from their veteran experience. And of course, Dave Roberts has that.
The 3-ball count on Freeland. Kenta doesn't want to lose the opposing pitcher here. Does. Second walk that he's issued, and a man on for the top of the order.
Number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
So here's Blackmon. Inspiration for that glorious beard was the 2013 world champion Red Sox. He liked the look, watching it on TV, and decided not to shave that winter while he was in Australia vacationing. So it kind of worked both ways. He liked the look and figured he could be lazy. He was on vacation. He takes a strike, and then it kind of became a symbol for him. He said that he was so over being so serious about everything. Figured it was time to let loose like those Red Sox did. Have a little fun. Be himself. Rolls one to second. At least where Justin Turner is. Throw to first in time, a double play. That first season that he had the beard became his first full season in the majors of sticking. But this double play finishes him and the Rockies off in the third to the bottom half, no score. It's been a few days, huh?
The May gray has kind of set in, but the sun would be a welcome change, and it was today.
The temperature warming around 70, low 70s this afternoon. No score in this one, no hits in this one. Kyle Freeland and Kenta Maeda go head to head. Bottom third of the order, Dodgers still looking for their first base runner with Puig, Muncy, and Maeda coming up. Who would have thought here in late May we would be putting the spotlight on Maxwell Muncy.
He has been outstanding. The Dodgers have had surprises over the years of guys that weren't on the radar, and Max Muncy is the 2018 version of maybe a Chris Taylor. Professional at bat after professional at bat. Last night was not his best night, but boy, he had started to really build a resume prior to last night's 3 strikeout night.
Omar is going to break his AB down after Yasiel Puig leads off this third. Puig's gotten it going. 5 home runs in his last 8 games after his solo shot last night. Aggressive on the first one, a cutter for a strike.
You talked about Kike liking to do some awkward things and uncomfortable things in batting practice. Wasn't the super heavy bat Yasiel Puig was hitting with the other day?
And today shared it with Chase Utley. 48-ounce bat, which is about 15 ounces heavier than most guys use in the game. Here comes an 0-2. Left it up. Puig smacked it the other way for a leadoff base hit. And as Max Muncy comes up, we turn it over to Nomar for the spotlight.
Well, you guys were talking about Saturday, that doubleheader possibly being the day to remember in this season. Well, look at Max Muncy on the 3-2 count against Tanner Roark. Takes this pitch for a strike on the inner half. 2-2, same thing. But you got to make adjustments over the course of the game. That's exactly what he did, too. He was not letting that pitch go on 2-2. Looking in, because that's where they're pounding him in with 2 strikes. Ends up getting a cutter and then hitting a double down the line. Talked about it after the game, how he actually was looking in, recognizing what they were trying to do. That's what you have to do over the course of a game.
He is the only left-handed hitter in the lineup for Dave Roberts tonight, against a guy that is very tough on left-handers. Yanks one to right field. David Dahl has it. 1 out.
We were talking about earlier at the beginning of the game, Joe, about how well he's been doing over the last 12 games, despite being 0 for 4 yesterday, still having an average of over 300 on base percentage, over 400. So it's really been a factor. 10 RBIs in the last 12 games as well, being a factor in this lineup, which is probably the big reason why Dave Roberts keeping him as the only lefty in this lineup.
So with his line out to right field, 1 gone here in the third. And Kenta Maeda is up there showing bunt. Lays it down well. Desmond's got it. Feeds a covering Castro for out number 2. Smoothly done by Kenta Maeda.
That was beautifully executed. And I like the little jiggling that he's doing, because it all of a sudden would give him a little rhythm if he decides to pull the bat back. So I think that'll help freeze the infielders a little bit. Like, you know what, I will pull this back, but then when he finally gets ball in flight, settles his eyes, settles the bat, keeps the barrel up, and deadens it perfectly.
So an RBI chance for Chris Taylor in a scoreless game in the third. Over a 10-game on-base streak, Taylor's on-base percentage is .425, and just to give that some perspective, league average is about .320. The league leader, Freddie Freeman, is at .427, and Chris in the last 10 games .425. We get second, 2 out. Freeland home 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Oh, it actually got him. Just clipped him on the way by. And 2 on with 2 out.
Number 15, Austin Hart.
Baseball going 90 clips your thigh a little bit. It feels like somebody burned you with a match.
Two on, 2 out for Barnes. This is where Kyle Freeland has been especially good this year. Barnes trying to change that with a bullet back to him, but he knocks it down and throws him out. Opponents are now 1 for 17 against Kyle Freeland with runners in scoring position and 2 out.
All right, everyone, it's time to play What's in the Box presented by Jack in the Box. I'm here.
Closer and closer to a return. Was supposed to throw a 30-pitch bullpen session today. Actually went 54 pitches, the reason being. I know you're going to find this hard to believe. He was a little bit competitive, didn't like his pitch execution, so he threw the first 30, then took a break, then went back and threw another 24. Dave Roberts in the batter's box, switching sides. Dave Roberts said, of course, he's incredibly competitive. The good news is Clayton Kershaw completely asymptomatic, you guys. He's feeling healthy. He's feeling good. He'll likely throw that simulated game on Saturday and hopefully be back next week.
All right, yeah, a chance for the homestand perhaps, end of the homestand against the Phillies or start of the road trip against these Rockies. Kenta Maeda, meanwhile, when you go back to him retiring the final 17 in Miami, has gone 8 2/3 in a row without a hit.
The Blackmon double play gave him another 1-2-3 inning. So 9 out of his last 11 innings. 1-2-3, dominant.
We're going to jinx it, Oral. We're going to jinx his 2-game no-hitter.
You have told me in the past that we do not have that power.
Ah, you are learning.
We do not have superpowers.
2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies. David Dahl struck out his first time, and he's behind 0-2 here.
I would hate for you to take that argument down to a big league bench, though, while a no-hitter was going on, and go down there. Hey, guys, just wanted to stop in and talk about the no-hitter.
Yeah, you wouldn't take it there. Win in Rome. But I bet most of the big league dugout would say, yeah, we don't care what you say up there. It's just down here. After Dahl, it'll be Arenado and Parra. You're in a scoreless 4th. Two Ks, 2 walks for Maeda. Home with an 0-2. A defensive swing and a breaking pitch. One and 2. Takes a change in the dirt, evens the count up. Smonty Grandal getting the day off as well. Dave Roberts getting him back-to-back days off with the scheduled off day tomorrow. Curve over the outside corner, strike 3.
The highest batting averages against Kenta are on the first and second pitch. After you get deep in the count with him, you have no idea what's coming. He'll throw any pitch in any count, and throwing the curveball, which has been a rarity at times, just fooled him.
Distribution of those 53 pitches over this first 3 1/3. Here he comes to Nolan Arenado with a fastball strike. That first inning walk, Arenado's been on 31 of his last 32 games. The guy grew up in Southern California but has Cuban roots. His father, Fernando, from Cuba. His family fled the country when he was just a young kid in the 1960s. Actually went to Spain for a year. And then his family joined his aunt in Southern California. 2-1 on Arenado. And Nolan had always wanted to learn more about his Cuban background, always wanted to go there and visit. And they finally did a couple off seasons ago. He and 22 family members, that included his 83-year-old grandma, went back to Cuba. And all packed into a few touring vans. Made a 3-day trip across the country, just seeing the different towns in the country, seeing the different sites. And for Nolan, he said it was a life-changing experience. There's some plans to go back already. Plans to take bats and balls and gloves with him and to give away along the route. Awkward swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks to open the 4th.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Dodger app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Dodger home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
4th inning, no score. Gerardo Parra. Strike 1.
10 of 13 on first pitches as far as strikes. So he is attacking these Rocky hitters.
Seen a lot of defensive swings in this inning. He has them caught between and guessing. The 93-mile-per-hour fastball looked even harder than that with the way Parra reacted. On an 0-1, he comes back with a changeup. It's hit foul, and it's 0-2.
The mechanical adjustment that Kenta made as far as slowing his body down. You think about if you slow the body down and how fast he is coming towards home plate, but you keep the hands that break, and as the arm comes around to deliver the ball at the same speed, that's going to get the ball more out in front and more on a downward plane.
Same pitch, no swing.
So with a changeup like he just threw, his hand's going to be more on top of the ball, get better action on his slider. His hands and fingers are going to be more on top of the ball, get more downward movement. On his fastball, he's going to come through it, and the arm's going to be out in front of the body a little bit better. He's going to get more action. The body is moving a little faster. The arm's going to be a little later, so your hand's going to be more behind the ball as you throw it compared to on top of the ball.
He strikes out the side in the 4th. And he's through 4 shutout innings, having not allowed a hit in this one. T-Mobile presents Hats Off for Heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, T-Mobile stands ready to serve all military families. else would you rather be? What a perfect night to be at the ballpark. And the Dodgers and Rockies scoreless to the bottom of the 4th. Justin Turner struck out his first time and is mired in a bit of a slump right now. 1 for his last 14. First one just misses. Ball 1. Hard hit, base hit. Leadoff single, Justin Turner.
It was a very nice jinx, Joe. 1 for 14, but now we get to watch a Carl's Cam base hit by Justin Turner. Takes the ball right back up the middle.
Yeah, I'll claim that one.
Yeah, of course. Wasn't the key hit in that 1 for 14, the double down the line?
It was.
Yeah. It was a big hit in the game, so even when he only gets a few hits, they're very important.
Second inning in a row, the Dodgers have had the leadoff man on, unable to capitalize on Puig's leadoff single last inning. Kemp, who entered the day 3rd in the National League, hitting above .330. Yanks one to left on a line. Parra's going to lay out and catch it for the first out. Had a great first step and took away a hit from Kemp.
Number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Well, Matt Kemp blistered that ball. It's a line drive on the first pitch, and he's an outstanding first pitch fastball hitter. Little easier play for Parra, not only because of the great first step, but being a left-handed thrower. That's to the glove side. A little more extension, a little easier to get the glove under it.
Two-time Gold Glover flashes the leather there for the first out of the 4th. Let's see, did he go with the axe handle bat again, or is he back to the traditional knob? He takes strike 1. He's back to the traditional knob after flying out to the warning track his first time. Goes the other way with a base hit, and he'll never touch an axe handle again.
So much of this season has not been to script. Kike usually hits left-handers very well, has struggled this year, but with the traditional handle here, this base hit to right is awesome. Dodgers are 26th in baseball coming into this game in batting average against left-handers in Major League Baseball. The funny thing is, they're 9-7 against left-handed starters.
It's a lot of weird ones, aren't there? It's a lot of weird stats.
Gonna have to get more reps, so maybe things will even out.
Good chance brewing here in the 4th. First and second, one out. Logan Forsythe, the batter. With his second inning ground out, is now 0 for 10 against Freeland.
I think anything but a fly out to right will make you start to feel good about Logan and where his at bats are headed. You start slicing that fly ball to right, that's when he's not locked in.
He's ahead 2-0. A weak ground out his first time, came against the scouting report and that it was on the first pitch, which Forsythe swings at less than anybody in baseball. And you know, he hits the weak ground ball and he's saying that's why I don't swing at that pitch. A strike 2-1. Tongue in cheek.
Oh, I'm with you. That's the hard thing about baseball, especially as a hitter. There's so much failure. And so to convince yourself to change your plan a little bit, and if you don't get instant success, you just want to revert back to old habits.
Or old handles.
Exactly.
Ahead of Freeland. who fires 2-1. Dodgers again trying to crack through against Kyle Freeland with a runner in scoring position. Boy, has he been good or what? That's part of the reason you see the ERA around 3 for him. Another foul ball, still 2-2.
The style right now from Freeland is almost defaulting to the fastball into righties or the cutter in. Not really relying on off-speed pitches. Over 80% of his pitches are going to be something firm.
Down the left field line, that is a fair ball for Forsythe. Bouncing into the seats. RBI double, and the Dodgers have the game's first run.
Nomar's highlight of Max Muncy, and the highlight film was adjust to what they've done to you before. Well, they were pounding in, especially to all the right-handed hitters. Logan Forsythe said, no, get out of my kitchen, and turned on it.
Oral, you touched on it. That's something that you also go into the dugout and you start talking to each other about that. You're like, what do you see? What's he doing to you? Well, if he gets ahead, he's trying to pound us in, guys. He's trying to get in there, and especially that lefty on righty with that cutter, because a cutter coming from a lefty, that's where it's most effective, really trying to break your bat. So get the head out, try to keep it fair. He did an excellent job.
Now Puig takes a strike. Opposite field single his first time. Prior to the 3 hits here in the 4th, that was the only hit for the Dodgers against the 25-year-old left-hander Kyle Freeland. Here's his 0-1. Misses badly for ball 1.
I love it when the modern hitter makes an adjustment and just plays the game. He doesn't play swing mechanics. He plays baseball and adjusts mid-at-bat, mid-game, and just puts a bat to ball swing on it and doesn't worry about, well, I got to open up my shoulder to get this one. I don't want to do that, you know. No, they're pounding you in off the plate. I'm going to open up and sit on that pitch.
Dodgers are in the top 10 in baseball, believe it or not, at success bringing men home from third with less than 2 out. I know it doesn't feel like that. He jams it foul into that Rockies dugout, 1-2. It's a surprising 1-2, isn't it?
That is. It's just another upside down stat compared to the eye test or compared to what results you think are happening. Because with runners in scoring position, we're near the bottom and we're starting to creep up.
And it obviously doesn't take a hit here. So just in the success of bringing a runner home from third with less than 2 out. Top 10. You get it done more than half of the time. Freeland to Puig, 1-2. In the dirt, good stop by Arenado to keep Hernandez at third. The league average for this category, exactly 50%. Getting a man in from third with less than 2 out. Dead last in baseball, the Diamondbacks, and it's not even close. Second and third, one gone. Freeland to Puig, 2-2. Hard bounce, it is short. Story will get Forsythe caught in a run down. Hernandez is in to score. The Wild Horse headed for second. He is in there safely, and the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead.
Yasiel Puig did a good job using the middle of the field. The Rockies have the infield back. He hits that ground ball. Forsythe and getting hooked up, just getting the ball going towards third base. So Yasiel makes a quick decision right here. You're only about 6 feet away from first base, but you see them running away from second base. That's when you take off. If the rundown had been headed back towards second, no way Yasiel can move up. But recognizing that it was going towards third, he made it.
He will get an RBI and a fielder's choice. The Dodgers have 2 here in the 4th. Muncy put on intentionally, and Maeda brought up. They want nothing to do with Nomar Garciaparra's spotlight, apparently. I guess by baseball rules, Nomar, you now have to break down Kenta Maeda's at bat.
No problem. I was also going to break down Yasiel Puig's a little bit. I know he was there before Max Muncy, but that's exactly what the Dodgers are also been looking to do and haven't been doing over the course of this season. We talked about this last week. They did over there in Washington. Productive outs. Yeah, that was an out. It was a fielder's choice for Yasiel Puig. But rather than striking out in that situation, it seems like that's what the Dodgers have been doing, putting the ball in play. Good job getting in the rundown, making sure you get the run, get Yasiel back in the scoring position, all around. Good baseball plays.
And then Puig doing something that they have excelled in this year. They're 5th in the majors in taking the extra base. 2 on, 2 out, and Ferland to Maeda with an 0-2.
A perfect example right there with Yasiel Puig's ground ball and the stat you were talking about, getting the guy in from third in the top 10, but hitting with runners in scoring position, that's an offer.
Exactly. Maeda down on strikes, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers get the first 2 runs of the night. A double from Forsythe. Then a fielder's choice ground out from Puig. Today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Dodgers getting 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and now the Rockies coming up here in the 5th, hitting 133 in this series, and still searching for their first hit tonight against Kenta Maeda.
We had something brewing, we thought, when Walker Buehler took the mound, and Kenta Maeda is doing it in a little different way, mixing his pitches. Buehler was overpowering the Rockies with his accuracy and his velocity, but Maeda has been an artist here tonight.
Last 12 innings for him, no runs, only 2 hits. And boy, doesn't it come at the right time for this team with Clayton Kershaw, Hyun-Jin Ryu, Rich Hill all on the DL.
Well, and he responded to 3 rough outings prior to that Miami gem. San Francisco, 6 innings, they got 4 Ernies off him. San Diego only 5 innings, they got 3 Ernies off him. Cincinnati getting an L, 4 2/3, 5 Ernies. But then Miami, that mechanical adjustment slowing the body down, making everything more accurate and sharp. And all of a sudden he is on a roll, and so are the Dodgers.
We mentioned earlier, but pitching has keyed this nice run. They've won 5 of 6. They've given up a total of 12 runs over those 6 games. It's Trevor Story to lead this inning off for Colorado. Then Desmond, then Arenado. Story, the 25-year-old, in his 3rd season in the majors now. Top 5 in Rookie of the Year voting his first time around last year. Hit 24 home runs, but set a Colorado franchise record by striking out 191 times. Finished strong. Like the way that he felt in September. And then tried to lock that in, feeling in, with a really hard off season of working on that swing. Flies it foul, and it's 1-1. Two balls and a strike.
Even though he missed on that pitch, that was well executed. They wanted the fastball up and in, and it was only about 3 inches too high.
Slider for strike 2. Slider for strike 3.
Most basic old-time scouting report is up and in, low and away. Don't give him anything too good to hit, but don't walk him. Well, he executed it perfectly.
That's his 6th strikeout of the night. It's his 4th in a row. And Ian Desmond comes up. Strike 1. Maeda's strikeout rate has skyrocketed this season. After the fastball that was dotted, goes to the slider and gets ahead 0-2. Base hit to right for Desmond, who just flipped the bat out there at a slider, and he has the first hit of the night for the Rockies.
Number 22, Chris Arenado.
That's why no hitters and perfect games are so rare, because sometimes you can do everything right and the hitter can still find some outfield grass.
But across 2 outings, that's 10 innings in a row without a hit for Kenta Maeda. Broken up by Ian Desmond. That makes Chris Arenado represent the tying run. And a breaking pitch misses inside, ball 1. 3 games in this series, and in 2 of them, the Dodgers starter took a no-hitter into the 5th. You mentioned Walker Buehler the first night, did it with more overpowering stuff. Gave up the leadoff home run in the 5th to Parra. Here it's Desmond's 1-out single.
What a gutsy effort by Walker Buehler, taking the line drive off his rib cage, convincing Dave Roberts he could continue, convincing Dave Roberts he'll go even deeper in the game with second and third 1 out, possible pinch hit situation. But no, he went 2 more great innings, took the Dodgers deep into the game, really showed a lot of toughness and scored a lot of points in the locker room with that effort.
Good lead at first for Ian Desmond. Maeda sees that. Pretty close play. Close enough for Bob Guerin. Will hop on the phone. Nope. Ball and a strike.
12 swings and misses tonight. 8 with that slider he just threw and got Arenado to miss.
There goes Desmond. A little hit and run, 1-2. Yeah, you're talking about Walker Buehler wearing that line drive. It was off of the bat of Trevor Story. Somewhat of a scary moment as he keeled over, went down to his knees afterwards. X-rays were good though, no breaks. He now just has a baseball-sized bruise and welt to show for it. Ugly.
He should sign the bruise, take a selfie of it, and put it on Instagram. And just like hashtag tough.
Yeah. Or so you don't have to rub Sharpie off yourself, you could take a picture of the bruise, sign the picture, and then post it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Much
Just
better.
Save some soap. Lays off 2-2.
You guys were talking about the bruise on Walker Buehler. He showed it to me today. And I said, that's a good one. And I think you should take a picture of it and put it in the locker and said, this is the proper launch angle, the one that goes right back off the pitcher's rib. This is what I want, guys. More line drives, you know? Yeah, he got an out, but you stay with that approach, you'll be fine.
It's the approach Ty Cobb always preached. He said it a little differently, though. He said, try and hit it right between the pitcher's eyes.
Yeah, I was being nice.
So you were trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about Ty Cobb, the guy that sharpened his spikes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, just get one rib, you know?
Right. 75th pitch of the night here. You certainly don't see as many guys with that middle of the field line drive approach, where it used to be fashionable to hit the ball to the back of the cage or hit it to the screen when you're practicing. Now everybody wants to hit the top of the cage. Arenado takes strike 3, 2 gone.
It's that combination. The fastball slider low and away, and Morongo slow-mo cam will try and slow this fastball down. 93 on the corner. Kenta talked about the mechanical adjustment of slowing the body down, but he is still aggressive once he leaves the rubber. It's the gathering and then the starting of his hands as they break is where he's a little slower with the body, but then at the end he is very aggressive.
7 strikeouts tonight, and strike 1 on Daniel Castro. Really worked him his first time. A 10-pitch AB and finished with a pop out. Strike 2. Rockies the most efficient base stealing team in the National League. Castro down the line, foul. I think he's given souvenirs to like half the crowd tonight. Not Logan, but Castro. Another 0-2. Slider hit back to Maeda. 5 shutout innings for him with just 1 measly hit. Halfway home in this one. And let's take a look at the inside the box score brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Dodgers getting the 2 runs in the 4th. Turner started it with a single. Hernandez hit a single of his own. Forsythe hit an RBI double, and then the second run came in on Puig's ground out.
I loved Logan Forsythe's double down the line, usually forcing the ball up the middle or to right field, but just turned on that cutter and spanked it down in the corner.
Top of the order against Kyle Freeland here in the 5th. It's Chris Taylor to lead it off. Takes the first one high. Chris's first word as a baby, and I'm thinking of this because there's a big baby shower going on tonight for a lot of the Dodger wives, but Chris's first word was ball. First sentence, some variation of I want ball. Cranks this ball, foul.
I want to hit ball.
And apparently did at about age 2. He always had a bat or ball or a glove in his hand. It was baseball and wrestling for Chris. 2 balls, 1 strike. 3rd generation wrestling Taylor. His grandpa and his dad both wrestled at Virginia Tech. His dad, in fact, is in the Virginia Tech Sports Hall of Fame as a wrestler. Chris stopped in high school to focus on baseball, but at one point won a Virginia Beach City championship when he was in middle school. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's worked it full. I wouldn't want to wrestle him. with that serious nature of his. Yeah, no thanks. It's popped behind first, slicing its way into the seats. You'd have to rank near the top of Dodgers you would least want to find yourself in a ring against with that background. That right there, Dustin Dente, our director, thinking exactly what I'm thinking. He would be at the top of the list of guys I wouldn't want to wrestle.
Was not a big fan of the wrestling activity in gym class.
Leadoff walk. No? Wasn't your forte?
Not even
But you're
close.
the bulldog.
No, not back then. I was a chihuahua. Not a bulldog on the mat. Maybe on the mound, but not on the mat.
First walk issued. At least non-intentional walk. And Austin Barnes comes up. I think I mentioned this last week, but a fan recently asked on social media, a question for Dave Roberts, if you could choose one Dodger to help you face, was it like 100 duck-sized bears? I think that was it. Who would you choose? And he chose Puig. Trying to picture that.
I am.
I feel like I have the wrong animal. I know it was duck-sized, but the question was 100 duck-sized something. We'll go with bears.
Well, anything that had to do with strength and brawn and toughness and need to get it done quick. A lot of people would pick Yasiel.
Muscles one hopper that hits off Arenado. He recovers and still gets the out at second. Even the misplays turn into impressive ones for the Gold Glover.
I think he thought maybe he could catch in the air. Then when he couldn't choose his hop, of course, but he did a very nice job. Probably also checking the runners out. If I catch this in the air, I got to go to first. I got to do this. A lot of things running through your mind, but you're right. He kept it in front, snatched it with the bare hand, and recorded the out.
One of two players in baseball history to win Gold Gloves in each of his first 5 years in the bigs. First infielder to do that. Justin Turner pokes one the other way for a base hit down the line. Barnes hits second. He'll head to third without a throw. At the corners, one out.
Austin Barnes not sulking over at first on his fielder's choice. Justin Turner with a little serve down the right field line, and Austin is off to the races, understanding the outfielders, the velocity of that hit. He scoots over to third base, sets up this scoring opportunity.
For Matt Kemp, who is the #1 hitter in baseball with runners in scoring position. 471 for the big fella. With Barnes at third and Turner at first, Matt Kemp lifts a fly ball to left field. Sized up by Parra. He's got a cannon. Here's his throw. Cut off. Turner headed for second. It's a timing play. Does the run score? It does. They get the out at second, but Barnes steps on home before they get the third out. The Dodgers lead at 3-0. sacrifice fly for Matt Kemp, and as you can see, just barely in time. Barnes stepping on home before the tag of Turner at second.
And there was a little delay. Dodgers were wondering, was Turner safe? But they said play on. He was out by a hair.
The Rockies back at it against Kenta Maeda. They managed just one hit against him so far. Very soft opposite field single for Ian Desmond last inning. Kyle Freeland starts the inning and takes a strike. Didn't just make his major league debut against the Dodgers, but got his first big league hit in that game. Kyle got the ball, of course, gave it to his dad Don, who was his little league coach all his teams growing up. Don thinks he might need shoulder surgery from all the wear and tear of pitching BP to his kids. Down on strikes quickly is Freeland.
Summer's around the corner, and it's the perfect time to purchase your summer 6-pack flex plan. Choose any 6 home games on the schedule from your favorite giveaway nights and days of the week. 2 great interleague and rivalry matchups. Plus, you'll get a cool t-shirt with your purchase. Visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
It's his birthday. Happy birthday. Third time through the order now for Kenta Maeda. Charlie Blackmon takes strike one. And in this day and age, when you say third time through the order, it kind of sends off warning signals. But Maeda is the exception to that rule. Nothing in 2.
Third time through the order with his pitch mix and the way he's been striking out hitters this year. They're well below 200. You can see at 132. Ridiculous.
Third best in baseball.
If you want to get him early, and it's not only in innings, it's in counts too.
That is completely different from where he was as a rookie. That was part of the reason they liked him out of the bullpen. You're going to face the lineup once. You're going to see guys once, maybe twice if it's a particularly long outing. But he was especially good first time facing guys for a good chunk of his first couple of years.
Well, you're talking rookie year. That's 2016. His total wins now is at 32. That's 6th most in the National League. He's behind Max Scherzer at 43. Then you go to Lester, Arrieta, Strasburg, Greinke, and then Kenta Maeda. So what a great sign. Come over from Japan, a veteran from Japan over there. He pitched so well. Adapted to the shorter rest over here. Really a very heavy incentive laden contract. And he has been outstanding for the Dodgers.
Full count on Charlie Blackmon. That's a walk. Third one issued by Maeda, and the Rockies were the one-out base runner in the 6th.
Right fielder David Dahl.
So what's the difference then? Because you see such polar opposites from Maeda. I mean, he had the 3-start stretch where he gave up 12 runs in 15 innings. And now these back-to-back gems. What is the difference?
I think with Kenta, you know, you go back to the rookie year, what's the difference from there? He kind of picked around the strike zone, and then the league kind of caught up to him and said, okay, this guy doesn't want to throw us strikes after he gets 1 strike. I think he's changed that philosophy. I think he really believes in his stuff and that he can live near the middle of the strike zone, like that breaking ball here with a man on first, and then start to expand from there. And so the league has to respect him a lot more that the pitch is going to be in the strike zone. And then because of that respect, he then has the ability to walk you off the plate after 2 strikes, and his strikeouts have gone up.
Dahl hits a bullet to right. Puig will play it in a bounce. Twirl and gun his way to third, but cut off by Taylor. And they're at the corners with 1 away. Rockies getting the tying run up there.
Third baseman Nolan Arenado.
When you throw strikes, people start swinging the bat more, and then with a 1 strike count there, that's a mistake in the middle of the plate. He usually is trying to expand. They were trying to come inside with that leaked down the middle. Yasiel showing off his skills again.
It's amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. He's must-watch TV at the plate, and especially in right field. I mean, eyes in the back of his head, snatching that hop right there, making sure he gets it in the web, and then turning, and that ball is right on line. Chris Taylor cuts it off, keep the double play in order, but Yasiel is hitting this in the cutoff man every time.
Well, things have gotten really interesting at this moment. The Rockies' best hitter, Nolan Arenado, with Edward Paredes starting to warm. Arenado representing the tying run and taking strike 1. 0 for 1 tonight. 1 for 8 in this series. He went around, and it's 0-2.
Slider. Maeda's best swing and miss pitch tonight, and has been this year.
On Arenado's first inning walk, he got him to chase a couple of sliders down and away, then went back to it. Arenado took it. See what he goes to this time on an 0-2. Back to it to strike him out. 2 gone. His 9th of the night.
Changed the shape on that one. He was going more width, not making it go down.
Left fielder Gerardo Parra.
Take a look at a very good sequence, Volkswagen pitching sequence on this replay, and boy, he just takes a very aggressive Arenado and says no. No strikes for you. You go ahead and swing the bat. Couldn't reach it.
Not done that a ton, Arenado. Chase pitchers out of the zone because not got many strikes. Still getting on base. Not out of the woods yet. It's Parra, who's been very hot lately, but he dribbles the first one foul.
First and third, 1 out, facing Arenado. I'm thinking just trading out for a run, getting the dugout 3-1. He built the count to 2 strikes. He got a shot or 2 to strike him out. He took that shot and made it pay off.
To 95 pitches. Season high is 106. Here he comes 0-1. Gets a swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's 0-2.
You see the Rockies hitters are very anxious with these runners in scoring position. They know they've had a flat tire offensively, and it's coming into their approach.
Maeda trying to strike his way out of trouble in the 6th. His 10th of the night, going back-to-back change-ups to get Parra, and 6 shutout innings for Kenta Maeda. Coors Banquet timeless moment. This is the anniversary of the 4-home run game from Shawn Green when he tied a Major League record with 19 total bases that day in Milwaukee. A 6-for-6 day with the 4 homers, a double and a single. Home run in the second. Home run in the 4th. Home run in the 5th. And then with 2 out in the 9th inning, it's his 4th home run of the day. Kike Hernandez opens this 6th against Kyle Freeland and looks at a strike. Entering that series in Milwaukee, Shawn Green hadn't homered in a month, and in fact had been booed at Dodger Stadium in the previous homestand. And then he worked on some things, worked on shortening the stride. Hernandez fouls it off 0-2. He said he went into that game just with this very calm sense of being in the zone and produced history. Dodgers as a team that day had 8 home runs, which is a franchise record. And 0-2.
I never thought I'd get so old that footage from the day would look that bad.
And that's not even that long ago. 0-2.
No. Technology has flown by and really improved what we get to see on TV.
HD these days, man. But HD is like getting phased out, right? What's the next thing?
Well, they tried to curve the TV. I don't think those sold very much. Just clearer picture. I mean, I remember watching these HD TVs early on, and they would almost give you a headache. They were so sharp.
4K, is that the new?
Yeah, that might be coming. Or it's already
here.
out.
It's here, baby.
All right.
Desmond over to give it a look. And this time goes into the seats, selling out to make the catch. That's the 3rd or 4th time tonight Desmond has almost been able to get one in that first row. And this time he does.
It's a very low wall over there, and he is free game to the fans, and they're looking for a souvenir, but he's looking for an out, and he gets it. Wow, what an effort. No beer, no popcorn being spilled, no Dodger dog in the face, just a ball and an out.
Forsythe takes strike 1. If you got a Dodger dog to the face, he would have preferred mine over yours with the mustard and onions on it.
He'd have been here on Dodger Dollar went into the stands. He was here.
He was.
Dollar a Dodger dog, 5 max. We partake just a little bit.
Chopper. Long throw from Arenado. Lines up and guns a fastball, strike 2 out.
Right field,
We've seen him with a little chopper that he booted off the glove, but made an out still, and that's a rocket arm over there. He takes ground balls in practice out in the outfield grass. He practiced throwing from foul territory off into the outfield grass. He'll take the choppers. He loves to take ground balls, and he challenges himself in practice.
He's not always been a spectacular fielder. He's kind of a self-made guy in that regard. Puig takes inside ball 1. You know, the Baseball America Prospect Handbook that comes out each year ranks each organization's top 30, ranks the top players in each minor league. 2011 handbook said that he'd be better suited at first. Dropped 20 pounds. And a big thing was just putting more of a focus on that. And his mentor in that regard was Troy Tulowitzki before he was dealt to Toronto. And a self-made 5-time Gold Glover. 2-1 on Puig.
And you just know Chris Woodward enjoys watching him play down there as much as Chris knows about infield play and teaching it, and then they get the chat over there. Arenado and he have been smiling about a few things.
Three fielders on the left side for Puig, whose base hit was the other way.
Come on, Young.
What an outing tonight for Kenta Maeda. Probably finished close to 100 pitches. Edward Paredes had been warming, although it looks like he's sat down, so perhaps they send Maeda out there again. Full count on Puig, and inside pitch means you get a little dance. What song was this to?
I'm going to count the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good luck with that.
How are you going to learn the dance if you don't count the
That's
steps?
true. That is true. It's a fast song.
Yeah.
How's it smell, Yasiel? On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, Yasiel Puig rolls one over. Third, Arenado's got it. Wide throw, and they put the tag down on him as he goes by. Through his 6 innings, Dodgers up 3-0.
I am here with Nikki, and she's going up against Logan Forsythe in a game.
Sponsored by Arco, and Kenta Maeda has been the show. Yes, the Dodgers have gotten 3 runs, but his strikeout pitch tonight has been a lot of them. The changeup, the curveball, the slider. 8 of the last 9 outs have been recorded as a strikeout, and he's excited, and so are the Dodgers to be up 3-0.
And Dave Roberts sends him back out there at 97 pitches. His career high is 107. That was 2 years ago. Strike one on Trevor Story. Dave Roberts had said yesterday going into that game that he was okay with it being an all hands on deck approach because he could count on Kenta Maeda against his Rockies lineup. Felt good about his ability to get deep. And it did become an all hands on deck game using all the key pieces, and so it's important that they do get this length out of him tonight.
Dave Roberts, with the bullpen being a little sketchy at times, has continued to push the starters. Push Buehler after his line drive to the ribs. Stripling went deep into the game for him as he continues to build up.
There's strikeout number 11 for Maeda on 3 pitches against Story. It's a new season high for him.
The last 2 starts, he struck out 19 guys now. 8 against Miami with no walks, and now 11 Ks here tonight with 3 walks.
9 of the last 10 outs. Ian Desmond. Got the first hit of the night for the Rockies with one out in the 5th inning. That's one of just 2 that Maeda's allowed. And now in his last 2 starts, 14 1/3, no runs on 4 hits. Strike 2. Got a chance here, Orl, if he could strike out this side to match his career high. That's a dozen Ks for Kenta.
Slider, he wants it low and away, but the tight spin and a little late break gets Desmond. These Rockies, the way they're flailing away at the ball right now, they remind me of last year's Milwaukee Brewers. These guys, this is a veteran club that really shouldn't strike out this much, with very good offensive resumes.
Chris Iannetta, who was fanned both times tonight, fouls off the first pitch. Strike 1. That is 8 pitches and 8 strikes. On the brink of some history here, if he can put Chris Iannetta away on this next pitch. And the crowd knows it. 0-2. Taken just off of the plate. Oh, he was that close to an immaculate inning to finish off 7.
It's a great pitch and a very good take.
He knew it too. 2-2. Never one to hide his emotion, is he? Next pitch will be a new career high for him. Pop back and out of play.
.108 pitches, but I'll bet you they're not very strenuous. When you have great location, you've made a little mechanical adjustment where you have great rhythm, the strain on your arm is a lot less.
Count goes full on Iannetta.
When you battle command and you see velocities kind of fluctuate, when you're not consistent with good rhythm, that's when you put the wear and tear on your elbow and your shoulder. But Kenta is not doing that.
This is probably one way or another going to be his final batter of the night. With double-barreled action down in that bullpen, Alexander and Baez, and the man on deck in Castro has made him really work. This would be the 8th pitch to Iannetta, trying to finish off a gem. He walked him. So let's see. Dave Roberts injured his way to the top step. Rick Honeycutt going to check and see if they're ready to go. 111 pitches. Which is 4 more than he's ever thrown in a game. Dave Roberts, much to the dismay of this crowd, coming out to get him. Doesn't change what he's done, though. Maeda, marvelous. 12 strikeouts over 6 2/3 shutout innings.
Backstage Dodgers go behind the scenes of Justin Turner's long-awaited season debut against the Marlins. Plus, Cody Bellinger meets up with his childhood idol in Miami. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. Maeda finishes. Pedro Baez comes on, trying to keep his line sparkling with a man at first and 2 out.
Well, Pedro Baez has struggled when he walks people. And so the key for him is to not let an outing spiral out of control. And here with 2 outs, near the bottom of the order, Kenta handing the ball to Pedro after an outstanding night, and hopefully Pedro gets him out of this inning with the runner on first.
Pinch hitter sent up there by Bud Black is Carlos Gonzalez. Only Paul Goldschmidt among active players has hit more home runs against the Dodgers. This Carlos Gonzalez, though, has not been the same guy. Takes the first one upstairs. Hitting just .218 and has been diminished to an off the bench role, a part-time starting role. Baez pitches 1-0, and that's ball 2. Crack bat flare. Justin Turner's got it. That's that. Book closed on Maeda. Stretch time at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. Max Muncy to lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Dodgers, up 3-0. He's back in the spotlight, so we go down to Noma.
Well, we talked about Max Muncy the other day making adjustments, especially in that 3rd time coming up and facing the pitcher. Well, here's an opportunity against Freeland to face him for a 3rd time. But honestly, it's really the 2nd time, because last time he gets up there, he got intentionally walked, so he just had to take a walk, don't even see any pitches. But now you got to think about being just that leadoff hitter and getting on base. I actually had a great conversation with him before the game. I was talking about his approach and what he's thinking when he's out there, and he's like, just in general. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I really think about staying in the middle of the field, trying to create just backspin. What I really loved was he also knew who he was facing. He's with Freeland. Here's a guy who has a tendency to stay away against lefties, cutter, fastball away. So I'm thinking about staying, you know, left center.
Chopper to second, Pat Valleca.
He wasn't telling me he was going to roll over to second, but he was thinking about driving the ball to left center, to right center. He said he really thinks about staying through the ball, creating that backspin. He says the adjustments that he made, which we've seen the success that he's had this year. He said he made adjustments last year, but he said the fact that he spent a year in AAA and saw the success with the adjustments really helped him to have the success he's having so far this year, especially at the big league level.
He's the first out of the 7th, and Jock Peterson will bat in the pitcher's spot. Strike one. Pat Valleca fresh into the game at second. No balls and 2 strikes. Peterson, the second left-handed hitter to face Kyle Freeland tonight. Muncy was the only lefty in the starting lineup. He gets more swings and misses from left-handed hitters than any pitcher in baseball. Pretty efficient outing for him. He's still at just 88. Adam Ottavino's getting ready. It is much less scary when you have a 3-0 lead as opposed to a narrow deficit against that back end of the Rockies pen. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Peterson. The payoff. Peterson loops it to left center field. That's a base hit. He's going to try to turn it into a double and will do so standing. Impressive stuff for Jock Peterson against a tough left-handed pitcher.
He's hit some balls hard to left field in this series and got nothing for it. This one is a nice line drive over shortstop in the gap. Doesn't completely thread the needle to the wall, but seeing how far Parra had to run for this, Jock cuts this corner quickly and sharply and easily gets into second.
Top of the order, Chris Taylor has extended his on-base streak to 11 games tonight. Takes inside, ball 1. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Dodgers. No runs on 2 hits for the Rockies. Colorado hitting below 130 in this series. The Blacks team in danger of falling to 5-9 in its last 14 games. Yet they'll still have moved from down a few games to first place and will still be alone in first place, regardless of the outcome of this game.
It's embarrassing for the division, but very comfortable place for the Dodgers, as much as the waters have been muddy here early in the season. So much of the national news about the Dodgers over the last few weeks is what's wrong with them, where are they going to end up, can they turn it around? Well, Arizona has helped a lot, and the Dodgers have started to turn it around. If you went and polled all the national writers now about the Dodgers situation or the National League West, I'll bet you a lot of the opinions have shifted to the Dodgers look like they're going to end up being the class of the National League West.
Arizona, quite frankly, had a chance to bury the Dodgers. The Dodgers going through that 6-game losing streak. The Diamondbacks going through a skid of their own, and Dodgers seem to have found their stride here. 4-pitch walk to Taylor, first and second with 1 out. What a brutal road trip Arizona's on. They had the start to it in New York, then they went to Milwaukee and got swept. They'll have an off day tomorrow, but then open a series in Oakland. But Black coming out. And that's going to do it for Kyle Freeland. Adam Ottavino comes on, tries to keep it right there. For the series opener with the Padres on Friday night, the veteran Clayton Richard, Ross Stripling for the Dodgers, and how good was he his last time out in D.C.?
He was absolutely fantastic. 4 hits over 6 innings, 9 strikeouts and no walks, 96 pitches, and the Dodgers have been putting him out there, and he might end up being a factor in the rotation for a while. Clayton Kershaw on the horizon about coming back. Rich Hill still on the DL with the blister issue, but Ross Stripling has gone from, okay, we hope he can give us 3 or 4 to starting to go deeper into games.
Adam Ottavino. Interesting, the Rockies using Ottavino here. Normally they're high leverage setup man with leads. But Black basically looking at it and saying, if we don't keep it right here, probably got no shot. Austin Barnes, 2 on with 1 out, takes ball 1. Ottavino and Davis combined in the pen a sub-2 ERA, so the 2 top arms at the back end. Everybody else, you put them together, and the ERA is near 6. Barnes hits one to short. Story feeding Valleca, whose turn is in time and a double play. So Ottavino does the job, and we go to the 8th. We go to the 8th. Before we do that, check into the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The Dodgers getting 3 runs thanks to some good situational hitting. But the story tonight, Ned, Kenta Maeda.
You know, we're accustomed to watching Clayton Kershaw here. This guy's been as good as anybody the last 2 starts.
Dodgers trying to pick up 5 games in the NL West in just 7 days. We'll see you soon.
A win tonight, John, would bring them to within 3.5 games of the Rockies, even though they'd still be 5 games below 500. It's all relative. Scott Alexander for the 8th. Oral.
Since being recalled on May 9th, he has been hot. He got it straightened out down there in AAA. He's only given up 1 hit in his 5 scoreless innings, 1 for 15 off of him since being recalled, and that sinker is back.
Noel Cuevas, a former Dodger farmhand, went to the Rockies in the Juan Nicasio deal, leading off this 8th. And Alexander throws that sinker for a strike. A pop-up. Fly to center field. Hernandez for the first out.
Center fielder number 19, Charlie Blackmon.
And now Charlie Blackmon. The Dodgers have held to a 1 of 10 in this series. The average dipping down to 259. That would, if it were the end of the year, be the lowest he's ever had. After he won a batting title last year at 331. You know, his batting title last year was largely built on the strength of his Coors Field numbers, which is what makes it shocking. The home road splits this year. 11 of his 12 home runs have come away from Coors Field. It's a soft bouncer in short right Forsythe, so he has no play. This situation where the shift winds up biting you. But yeah, look at the difference. 2017 splits on top, 2018 splits on the bottom. Yeah, they have completely flipped. A 1-out base runner brings up David Dahl. $45,884 tonight. Hoping the Dodgers can get their 6th win out of their last 7 games after losing 6 straight. Oh, and 2. The 24-year-old David Dahl, who's always been advanced, grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, and when he was 7, played on an 11 and under team. Dunked a basketball for the first time when he was in 8th grade. It's a bouncer up the middle. Taylor will step on the bag and throw him out for a double play. Alexander with a scoreless save to the bottom half, 3-0. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by SoCal Gas. For energy efficient rebates on qualifying appliances, go to SoCalGas.com/rebates.
Be at Dodger Stadium on Sunday, May 27th as the Dodgers close out the series with the San Diego Padres. 110, be one of the first 12,000 kids 14 and under in attendance, and you will receive a Junior Dodgers fidget spinner, courtesy of Haichu. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Invented in 1993 by a chemical engineer. Fidget spinners. Brooks Pounders. Delivers a strike on Justin Turner. Pounders 27 years of age. Former Royal, former Angel. It's a ground ball to short for Trevor Story. He's got to be on the all-name team, huh?
First baseman, number 35.
Yeah. Got a little Jonathan Broxton in him. A big man.
6'5", 265 to be exact.
It's a little bit like a right-handed CC Sabathia.
Yeah. Cody Bellinger came on in a double switch last inning, takes ball one. Pounder's a Southern California guy from Temecula, California. 1 ball and 1 strike. You mentioned CC. You know, he's having a great year. He's a 37-year-old for the Yankees. 2.40 ERA.
CC has reinvented himself since the shoulder issues and the velocity drop. Used to be the electric fastball and dynamite slider.
Bellinger turns one around, right center field. Blackmon back at the wall to make the catch. A long fly out for the second out.
A lot of nights this will be out, but it's still chilly here in May. A day game for sure. A night game in the summer months, yeah, but not here. Well hit and well caught.
58 degrees right now. Kike Hernandez taking a strike. Kenley Jansen getting ready to go for the 9th inning. Arenado, Para, and then Story coming up. 0-2. Kike told the story after Sunday's home run that he had hit it using Chase Utley's bat. 6 home runs this year. 3 of the 6 have been hit using something he borrowed from Chase Utley. The first 2, he was wearing Chase Utley's shoes. Here he hits a soft bounce at a third. Arenado's got it. And we go to the 9th inning. Heart of the order coming up against Kenley Jansen, who tries to lock down a 3-0 win and a series win for the Dodgers. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your SoCal Land Rover retailers. Kenley Jansen, who has put up zeros in each of his last 8 outings, is on for the 9th inning with a 3-0 lead.
Going for his 10th save of the season, which will put him tied for 5th in the National League, starting to climb that ladder and get back to his rightful place near the top. Kenley has really squared away his year, now throwing the ball in a big way, velocity-wise, and that late cut action.
And if he can get a scoreless 9th inning here, it would kind of restore order, and that it would put his ERA for the first time under 3. Won't be easy. Arenado, Parra, and Story. Arenado 1 for 9 in this series. He struck out both times against Kenta Maeda tonight. 2 with a 12 for Kenta. So here we go with the 9th. And a cutter to the knees for strike 1. Down the right field line. Puig on his horse. Not going to get there. Careful. 0-2.
You don't want the wild horse to blow a shoe out.
A horseshoe?
You got it.
I did. We're on the same wavelength, buddy. You and me and you.
T for 2 and 2 for T.
Yeah, you lost me on that one, but we're still there. 1-2.
I'm not going to sing the song to you. T
I've ever
for
wanted.
2 and 2
yes.
for T.
Oh, beautiful singing voice.
Appreciate that. I'm not even tuned up.
A 1-2. Off day tomorrow. And the Padres come in. Clayton Richard, Ross Stripling Friday night. Jordan Lyles and Alex Wood on Saturday. And Walker Buehler in the finale on Sunday.
I'm expecting a quick pitch or a delayed.
Traditional slider, though.
Yep. I knew he was going to try and mix him up. Kenley has gone to the bag of tricks a little early against certain hitters in the league, and Arenado is one of those.
Full count. I actually know what song you're singing, Marks. Actually, yeah. He was on a car commercial recently, right?
That's not where I remember it, but yeah, it might be. Okay. 3-2.
Got him swinging. I like that. You set the pitch up and then I'll call it. So 1 gone in the 9th inning. Time for our Nissan Dodger calendar. Talking about the weekend coming up. 3 with the Padres. And then the Phillies come in. And how about the year the Phillies are having? Gerardo Parra. Phillies today shut out the Atlanta Braves and took that series 2-1. They're 28-19. Parra down the line, foul, strike 1. Quite a few surprise teams across the NL. Atlanta, Philadelphia at the top of the East. Milwaukee, 15-6 in its last 21 games, has the best record in the league at 31-19. On the corner, strike 2.
95. One of the cutters to Arenado is 94 with great cut. Love to see that velocity creeping up.
Back-to-back Ks to start Jansen's ninth.
He did reach down in the bag of leg kick tricks. Little slight delay like Clayton Kershaw down there at the bottom, and a regather, and then pulled the string with the slider.
And all that stands between him and a 1-2-3 ninth inning is a guy that is 0 for 4 lifetime against him with 4 Ks, and Trevor Story. Not fun for Trevor when this guy's in his division. Grounds the first pitch that he sees into center to keep the night alive. And his first hit ever against Jansen.
First baseman number 20, Ian Desmond.
Up comes Ian Desmond. Story takes off his second on strike one. And Jansen wants to talk with Barnes real quick.
This is where it gets personal for closers. Yes, you want to get him out, but when you get that base runner to second on defensive indifference, it also counts against Kenley's ERA, counts against a little bit of it's just a little nick to the confidence. You just don't like it. And so he wants to make sure they're on the same page to try and record this last out.
Got it by him, 0-2. Pitching has been the story for the Dodgers during this run. 12 runs total in the last 7 games, and Jansen trying to keep it that way with a shutout. Look out in that Rockies dugout. Well, the offense wasn't overly explosive tonight, but some timely hits, some productive outs, 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. 6+ from Maeda, the bridge to Jansen, who fires an 0-2 and strikes out Desmond. The Dodgers have taken this series from the Rockies, capping it off with a 3-0 shutout win.
That's their 7th shutout of the year, and it was started by the exceptional and lately scoreless inning man Kenta Maeda,
who is our player of the game, brought to you by Lexus. 6 2/3 for him tonight. Fell 1 strikeout shy of his career high with a dozen.
He absolutely had everything working. The slider, of course, a foundational out pitch, but used the changeup, the curveball, and the fastball to get some of those 12 strikeouts.
You mentioned the 7th team shutout. That's tied for the most in baseball. And over these last 7 games, they've given up a total of 12 runs. They've won 6 of them. So after the 6-game skid, they've won 6 of 7. They're within 3.5 of first. For Oral, Alana, and Nomar, Joe Davis saying so long for Dodger Stadium. And Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.